And a turn of the screw as far as the tension is concerned. Ball 2. Ball 3.
Oh, this will kill you. Marty Barrett asking for a strike. That's all he's asking for.
Swung on and line to left, right at Rice. Tagging up is Mazzilli to score, and down to third goes Dykstra. It's a brand new ball game.
Davy Johnson gambling 3-0 for a base hit, got the sacrifice fly. Rice's high throw allowed Dykstra to go to third.
And boy, does that take a lot of weight and a lot of heat and a lot of pressure off the on-deck hitter, Ray Knight. He's off the hook. Now Darryl Strawberry with runners at first and third in a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 8th.
Buckner behind him.
Fouled away.
Not even worried about Keith, and Keith is pointing to Strawberry. Keep that shoulder in there. He was patting his right shoulder. Keep that front shoulder in there.
Darryl has walked twice and hit into a force play. He has 2 stolen bases. 0-1. Dykstra bluffing down the line. Fouled at the plate. 0-2. So just as Ray Knight's era gave the Red Sox a big run in the 7th, so the throwing error by Calvin Schiraldi has given the Mets the tying run in the 8th.
Both Hernandez and Bill Robinson at first base trying to give hints to Strawberry as the Red Sox have their meeting on the mound, and they're trying to set up a defense should Hernandez decide to break from first base. You can see him checking the bench. He can go off first base as far as he wants. Buckner's playing way behind him, and with 2 strikes you can look for anything.
0-2. Hernandez is going on a fly ball to right field. Evans looking over at Henderson. It's Henderson. But the Mets scratched for 1 run, 1 hit. There were 3 sacrifices. 3-3 in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning, all tied 3-3. The Mets make the 2-for-1 switch. Lee Mazzilli, who batted for Jesse Orosco, stays in the game and goes into right field. Rick Aguilera is the new pitcher, and he will pitch in Darryl Strawberry's spot. In the 9th, the Red Sox will have Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, and Rich Gedman. It is interesting that before the league championship series, before the playoffs with Houston, backup catcher Ed Hearn of the Mets said, "I have a hunch the guy who's going to play a big part in the league championship series and the World Series will be Rick Aguilera." Well, here he is, tied up in the 9th inning of a must-win game for New York.
Please report to the press gate.
Boy, two big decisions by the managers. Carter being allowed to hit 3 balls and no strikes, really drills one to left field for the sacrifice fly. And remember, McNamara started his runner to pick up the tie-breaking run. So those little decisions that get lost in the box score.
And Rice makes a poor throw. It can't be cut off. There's no chance to get the tying run, and it allowed the winning run to go to third. The possible winning run anyway.
And leading off the 9th inning.
So Mazzilli, who was the pinch hitter and singled, worked his way around to score, stays in the game in right field. And now let's see about the Sox. Rice has walked, struck out, flied to right, and of course reached on that bad throw by Ray Knight that looked like it was going to be his own personal nightmare. Fouled away. Rick Aguilera. He's the 4th Mets pitcher. On the corner. Strike 2. Aguilera's best pitch, they tell me, is the slider. Ball 1.
He's got a fastball slider and a good overhand curveball.
Calvin Schiraldi tied up 3-3 in a sense because of his throwing error to second base. 1-2. Ball 2.
See Carter fire that ball back. That's always a message when they throw it back that hard, is it say, come on, man, you got to give me some strikes.
By the way, in checking with the scorer on that throw in the dirt by Schiraldi, it was ruled a sacrifice fielder's choice. No error. Rice strikes out.
Fastball just blew it right by him.
Dwight Evans doubled off the left center field wall to drive in a run, flied to right, walked, and then you remember they started Rice with 1 out, and Evans hit a one-hopper to Backman, but Rice was able to get into second base. Evans was out, and then eventually Gedman singled and Rice was thrown out at the plate. Strike. 1 out, top of the 9th.
Hasn't thrown a curveball yet, but he's certainly in a good spot now for a breaking pitch. He kept him honest with that fastball inside.
There's a breaking ball, and Elster bobbles, picks it, drops it, and the kid's burned. An error. Remember, Danny Heap batted for Rafael Santana in the 5th inning and hit into a double play, and young Kevin Elster is there, and he can't handle it. Right out of the glove and then out of the hand.
You can see he had it. He felt he had it all away when you saw him pat that glove going after it, but once it popped out of there, he just couldn't find the handle.
It's the Mets' 2nd error and the 3rd error in this pressure-packed game, and the batter is Rich Gedman. Flied to right, struck out, flied to left, and singled to left. Breaking ball, and he missed with it.
When you saw Aguilera waving like that, he was asking the shortstop and the second baseman who's covering. Elster said, I'll be covering.
1-0. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Stanley is now throwing in the Red Sox bullpen. Evans at first. And it's a busted bat, ground ball. Backman feeds Elster, and he goes to Hernandez. Fasten your seatbelts. It's 3-3, bottom of the ninth. This was Ray Knight. The time of the game, the bottom of the 7th inning. His error in the top of the 7th inning was a major contribution to the Red Sox taking a lead. This is Ray Knight in the bottom of the 9th, leading off in a 3-3 tie. Knight struck out, single to center to drive in Strawberry in the 5th inning, and lined hard to right field in the 7th inning. Calvin Schiraldi now battling for a decision. Ball one, breaking ball. The Red Sox left 12 men on base in their 9 innings of at-bat. 12. Ball two. The Mets have left 5 men on, and you can see the rally caps are now in order as the Mets bench turns the caps around. 2-0. Ball 3. In there. 3-1. Mookie Wilson on deck, and then the kid shortstop Kevin Elster. Anything but a kid manager, John McNamara, looks on. Ball 4.
Mookie looking for a sign, but if he does anything but bunt, they may have to call in the I don't know what. Buckner's setting up a defense now. That base on balls in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, always spelling trouble. When you get fancy here, you have to get outs.
The entire infield getting it squared away as Boggs comes over. You have Mookie Wilson followed by Kevin Elster and then Lee Mazzilli. Remember, Mazzilli stayed in the game. Wilson struck out, single to right, and grounded out. He's bunting and fouled it. 0-1. The Mets had 3 sacrifices in the 8th inning, 2 bunts and a fly ball. Mookie does not have a sacrifice all year, and he's asked to get one down now. Buckner was really coming, as was Boggs.
Schiraldi off the mound. They're really pinching.
0-1. The bunt out to get it is Gedman, and throws not in time, and we have our first argument of the series. He was on the bag, John said. You can't blow that call. On that blast bag. Why? You You couldn't have seen it, John said. Here it is again. You be the judge. What the Red Sox contention was to Jim Evans, you couldn't have seen that Owens was on the bag. And Jim Evans said, I saw it. And the Sox said you couldn't have seen it if you called him safe. Apparently they wanted Evans to talk to another umpire. Here's the play. You can see him coming off the bag. So Jim Evans was right there to call it. And now the Mets have first and second and nobody out in the bottom of the ninth in a tied-up game. Howard Johnson will be coming up to bat for Kevin Elster. Howard Johnson. And the Sox hold another meeting. So once again, we can take a look at our first truly controversial play of the series.
Barrett is claiming that he had his foot on the bag when he had the ball.
And I could read McNamara's lips saying to Evans, you couldn't have seen it. But Jim was right there. There's the foot.
Where's Evans' position? He's in perfect position. Barrett is sure of it. Look at him.
Maintaining, of course, that the sliding night had obscured his vision. There will be an error charge to Rich Gedman. Now here's Hojo trying to move the men along. Missed it. 0-1.
So if he gets it down that third base line, Boggs is not given quite as much ground as he gave the last time. He gets it down the third base line. It could be a base hit. That grass will hold it and slow it down.
Fielder's choice, error 2 if you're keeping score. Ray Knight at second. Slow runner. Mookie Wilson at first. A fast runner. 1 ball, 1 strike, and he was not around that time.
Johnson is his own man, I'll tell you. Everybody in the ballpark looking for bunt, but Davey controls the situation.
1 ball and 1 strike to Howard Johnson. Ground ball foul to Bill Robinson. Surprising. They have Hojo up there swinging. Bottom of the ninth and nobody out. And you have a left-hand hitter, Mazzilli, on deck. Then another left-hand hitter, Dykstra and Backman. So Davies rolled the dice with Howard Johnson. 1-2. Foul tipped. He struck out. On a check swing that ticked the bat, Johnson strikes out. 1 very big out. And Lee Mazzilli coming up.
And unless he gets that run in, Davies on the firing line once again. That foul tip, the ground ball now, and you're out of the inning.
So Johnson failing with the other Johnson now has Mazzilli, who had the single to open up the 8th inning and scored on Carter's line drive to Jim Rice to tie it up. Mazzilli staying in the game to play right field for Darryl Strawberry in bat 9. Knight at second, Wilson at first, 1 out. Ball 1. On deck is the little man who has played such a big role for the New York Mets, Lenny Dykstra. Check swing. No swing, says Harry Wendelstedt. Ball 2. Keith Hernandez screaming with Johnson and Stottlemyre. Lip-biting time for John McNamara. He's still steaming over the call at second base.
I could read Hernandez that time, man. Get a good ball.
2-0 to Mazzilli. High drive into right field, hooking down in the corner, foul. Mazzilli chipping his bat, evidently.
From the looks of the wear on that bat, it could be his favorite. That's a golden oldie he just put down.
Ray Knight opened up the inning with a walk. Wilson bunted. Gedman threw to second. Jim Evans ruling that Spike Owen came off the bag and didn't get back down in time. However, the Mets opted not to bunt with Howard Johnson, and he struck out. And now the count on Lee Mazzilli, 2 balls and 1 strike. High fly ball into left field. Going back on it is Rice on the track to handle it. And of course, after that play with Johnson, had he bunted, your winning run would have scored on that. 2 down. Knight still at second base. And the batter is Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra struck out in the first inning, grounded to short in the third, struck out in the sixth, sacrifice in the eighth. On deck, Keith Hernandez. Ground ball, foul. 0-1. Interesting to look tonight that now that Lenny Dykstra comes up with a runner in scoring position, Ray Knight, every man in the Mets lineup has come up with a man in scoring position. And it's 3-3, bottom of the ninth. Mazzilli thinking about that long out to left. 0-1 to Dykstra. One ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. Giraldi looked back at the mound as if his spikes had caught. 2-1.
Evans is deep in right field. Henderson and Rice not too deep, so there could be a play. There could be a play center and left. Knight not that fast.
With a left-hand hitter up, Knight is not worrying about Barrett. His only concern is Owen, who is bird-dogging him quite a bit. Fouled away. 2-2. So deuce is wild on Dykstra in the bottom of the ninth of a 3-3 tie. Don Baylor, the designated sitter in the National League Park. Time.
Who called it that time, I wonder? It looked like Dale Ford, his concentration may have broken because Dykstra didn't back out at all.
What he did was he took his left hand off the bat and held it up as if he was asking the teacher to lead the room. And finally Ford spotted it and called time. 2-2. Ball 3, a throw back, and Knight just got under the tag by Barrett.
If the throw's on the shortstop side, they got him. Barrett got over there in good shape. It was one of those I'll be there plays. Nothing set before that. Now Gedman's throw, he spots it. He almost has to move out to get away from Dykstra. If it's on the shortstop side, they got him.
Now Ray Knight, who was cheating, trying to get the extra steps in the event of a base hit, is now given the luxury because of the off-the-line throw. He will be in motion 3-2. So what a big play that was.
That ball was there ahead of him. It just a little bit on the wrong side.
The runners go on a full count. There they go instead of fate. Knight's the winning run at second base. The runners go on a fly ball to left field. Jim Rice is there. And we're going to extra innings. And the key play in the inning, besides the throw to second, Davy Johnson's option to not bunt with Howard Johnson. And the Mets lead 2. They've left 7 in the game. And at the end of 9, a 3-3 tie. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. We have a moment we would like to salute Jack Bennett. Jack Bennett started at NBC in 1952. He was a top sports cameraman for the World Series for 20 years. He is now and has been the director of technical operations for the past 5 years, and this is his last World Series. And we're sure making Game 6 a game to remember. With Howard Johnson staying in the game at shortstop, Dave Henderson will lead it off. Would you like to roll back the clock to Game 5? The Sox were 1 strike away from being eliminated when Henderson took a Donnie Moore pitch and hit it out. And Anaheim, that was 1 pitch away from celebrating. Henderson broke Gene Mauch's heart. Now it's 3-3 in the 10th. Henderson has flied to left, flied to center, grounded to short, and singled to short on the bad hop that struck Kevin Elster on the left arm. So Howard Johnson is the shortstop. And Henderson at the plate, and Rick Aguilera going to work. If you look at the Red Sox bench and you think of pinch hitters, they have only right-handed batters to go against Aguilera if they are thinking of batting for Schiraldi. Only right-hand hitters. And of course the #1 right-hand hitter, Don Baylor. And you can see he's loosening up. And a drive to left. Going back on it is Mookie Wilson, and this one is gone. Henderson has done it again. And a note on Rick Aguilera. He gives up the most home runs on the staff.
It looked like a fastball, and there you see Roger Clemens, and look at this bench.
And it is 4-3 Red Sox on the lightning-like home run of Dave Henderson.
And he knew it when he touched it off, and what a difference in the swing between this one on Aguilera and Ojeda.
A strike to Spike Owen, who is 3 for 3. So the Mets disdained the bunt, and the Red Sox make them pay with a home run. 1 ball and 1 strike. When the Mets bat in the bottom of the 10th, they'll have Backman, Hernandez, and Carter. Slicing foul off third, out of play.
You think that Henderson hasn't been on a roll?
Just look at him. 1-2. The count to Spike Owen. Fouled away. The Red Sox led 2-0. The Mets tied at 2-2. The Red Sox led 3-2. The Mets tied at 3-3. The Mets with a golden opportunity in the 9th inning to win it, let it get away, and Henderson hits the home run leading off in the 10th. And just to switch what we said the other night, it's so quiet in New York you can almost hear Boston. 1-2. That takes care of Spike Owen. 1 out in the 10th inning. Second strikeout for Rick Aguilera. And of course that home run does a lot of things, and among others, here comes Calvin Schiraldi. It looked like Baylor was going to hit for him until Henderson ripped it. Schiraldi followed by Wade Boggs. Mazzilli short and shallow in right field. That's a strike. 0-2. That takes care of Schiraldi. So 2 out in the 10th. Roger Clemens. 1 minute he was pitching a no-hitter. The next minute he was tied. And the Sox bullpen, that's Al Nipper chatting with him. 3 outs away. Ball 1. Boggs, 2 singles, grounded out, hit into a force play, and walked intentionally. He's 2 for 4. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. To repeat, Backman, Hernandez, and Carter in the bottom of the 10th. And the Mets with 39 come from behind wins. And Henderson and company trying to take it and run. For the Red Sox, including that wild Game 5 of the playoffs with the Angels, the Boston Red Sox have won 19 games in their final at-bat this year. And that's hit in the alley in left center, but it's slicing, and Mookie can't get it. It's gone to the wall. Boggs into second base with a stand-up double. So a home run and a double in the 10th inning. And the batter now, Marty Barrett.
Second baseman, Marty Barrett.
Marty Barrett lined out to center, 2 singles to left, and 2 walks. In there. 1-1.
Aguilera kind of quick pitched him that time, caught him between waving the bat. Although Marty might have been taking that pitch all the way, but he certainly didn't appear ready for the first time in this entire series, I might add.
0-1. Backman deep at second. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boggs at second, 2 out in the 10th, a run over. Red Sox 4, Mets 3.
Hernandez is trying to get Dykstra's attention to move him in. They're deep in that outfield, and with 2 outs, crack at the bat, Boggs will be off.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. Three and 1. On deck, Bill Buckner. Little slider for a strike. 3 and 2. Boggs waiting to be picked up with 2 out. 3 and 2 to Marty Barrett. And it's hit into center, base hit. Dykstra charging. Here comes Boggs. He will score. The throw backed up by Aguilera, and Barrett goes to second. And it is 5-3 Red Sox. And what a big run that was.
Well, the scouting report says run on the Met outfielders, and Hernandez, as we mentioned, was trying to get Dykstra to move in, but with 2 outs, Boggs broke at the crack of the bat, and Dykstra's throw is so high nobody can cut it off. They pick up the extra base, and there again is Barrett. That is the 5th time he's been on base tonight.
So Marty Barrett puts extra weight on the Mets dugout, and here is Bill Buckner. Barrett taking second on that high throw to the plate. Buckner lined out to right, flied to center and to right, grounded out. Ball 1.
Is that ever going to be a long press conference for Davy Johnson if it ends like this?
In the bottom of the 9th inning, Ray Knight walked. Mookie Wilson bunted. The throw to second was high by Gedman. Jim Evans ruled that Owens was off the bag, and there was first and second, nobody out. A bunt puts the winning run at third base. But Davy Johnson opted to have Howard Johnson swing away, and he eventually struck out. Foul ball. And then, as so often happens after one decision, something immediately happens to make you rue the decision. Mazzilli, a fly ball deep to left that would have scored the winning run, but instead the run is held at first and second. And when the Mets did not seize the opportunity, the Red Sox did in the 10th inning. Home run by Henderson, double by Boggs, single by Barrett, 2 runs over, and a 5-3 Boston lead. One and 1. Fouled off. Marty Barrett with 3 singles and 2 walks. The only time they got him in the first inning, he hit one right on the button, but right at Len Dykstra in center. Hit him. So Buckner is nailed by the pitch, and that will bring up Jim Rice.
There's nothing you can do when that ball is right there.
Left fielder, Jim Rice.
So Buckner at first, Barrett holding at second, and Jim Rice coming up. Rice walked, struck out, flied to right, reached on a bad throw by Ray Knight, only to be thrown out at the plate, and struck out. High foul, out of play. 0-1. To repeat, in case you're not keeping score, Backman, Hernandez, and Carter due up in the bottom of the 10th, and Aguilera's spot is due up 4th. One ball, one strike. One and two. And that's lined to right. Mazzilli has a bead on it and puts it away. But the Red Sox come up with 2 big runs on a single, double, home run. And at the end of 9 1/2, Red Sox 5, Mets 3.
You see the difference in that guy's swing against him and Ojeda? Oh, man.
Howard Johnson is good enough to swing. Tonight's game brought to you by Toyota, who offers a full line of 1987 cars and trucks. Who could ask for anything more? By Miller Lite, but great taste is only one light beer. By the makers of Prestone 2 Antifreeze. Don't push your luck, change it with fresh Prestone. And by IBM and the growing family of IBM personal computers. "5-3 Red Sox," and Wally Backman a strike. Backman is 1 for 3. Calvin Schiraldi trying to finish off the Mets and the 1986 baseball season. Fouled away, 0-2.
And it looks, Vin, with that swing that we're not going to see the Dykstra Art Backman beat out a bunt, which really is a story in itself.
Our particular thanks in sending you all the excitement and drama tonight to Mike Weissman, to George Finkel, Harry Coyle, and all the fellows who have worked so hard to bring you this World Series. 0-2 to Wally Backman. Little poke job to left. Rice coming over. 1 away. It is tough enough to lose. It is a long enough winter anyway. But when you have made a decision and it will stick in your craw all winter, it will make the offseason almost interminable. And that's the life of a big league manager. Here's Keith Hernandez. Fly to center, fouled out, single to center, walked intentionally. 1 for 3. Right. Rick Aguilera, who gave up the home run to Henderson. 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, Gary Carter. So this at bat for Keith Hernandez, very important. Trying to make Carter tying run. 1-1. Ball 2. And that's hit to dead center with Henderson going to run it down. And the Mets are down to their last out.
Here's the catcher, Gary Carter.
Tonight's NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game is Marty Barrett. Miller Lite happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Marty Barrett to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Marty had 3 singles and 2 walks. Handled everything hit his way. Kevin Mitchell is on deck to bat for Rick Aguilera, and Gary Carter at the plate. And he pops it foul, out of play. Gedman coming back. It is out of play. Carter had two great chances as we go back through the history books. And the Red Sox are 2 strikes away. In 1918, when the Red Sox won, each player received $1,000 as the winner's share. This year, each player will get more than $70,000. 1-1. The oil can, at least for the moment, looks like he has tomorrow off. 1-1. Dave Henderson joining Carlton Fisk with dramatic 6th-game home runs. And Roger Clemens hoping for that last out. Lined into left field, base hit for Carter, and the Mets are still alive. Hit number 2 off Schiraldi, number 6 for New York, and with 2 out, representing the tying run, Kevin Mitchell. Checking his outfield for Mitchell, and the outfield deep and straight away. Barrett is on the rim, and Owen is deep at short. Check swing foul. 0-1. Mitchell has had 5 at-bats in the series. He's 1 for 5.
John was just one of his ball club. No trick plays, no nothing. Keep Mitchell off second base.
Carter at first. Curveball, and that's going to be hit to center. Base hit. And now suddenly with 2 out in the 10th inning, the tying runs are aboard, and Ray Knight will be the batter. Have been very important for 24 victories during the regular year. They were very important for 7 innings tonight. And now all Roger Clemens can do is fold them and watch. Bill Fisher going out to talk to Calvin Schiraldi. And of course that second run that appeared to be window dressing. The double by Boggs and the single by Barrett. That second run now becomes a tremendous weight around the necks of the Mets.
There really isn't a whole lot of strategy right about now. He's just reminding everybody of the situation. The big guy is Mitchell over there at first base.
The Mets left 2 men on base in the 8th. They left 2 men on base when they had a chance to win it in the 9th, and they have 2 men on base in the bottom of the 10th. Knight is 1 for 3 with a walk. Strike with a fastball at the knees. 0-1. Carter and Mitchell out on the line. Little roller up along third. Boggs is going to let it roll. It goes foul. So Knight comes back to hit with the count no balls and 2 strikes. Each team playing fast and loose with the baseball, as the error column would indicate. Zambito and Stanley are standing up in the bullpen for John McNamara, but neither man is throwing. Kevin Mitchell at first, Gary Carter at second, 2 out. And that's going to be hit into center field, base hit. Here comes Carter to score, and the tying run is at third in Kevin Mitchell. And the Mets refuse to go quietly. With 2 out, they come scrambling back with consecutive hits by Carter, Mitchell, and Knight. And John McNamara goes to the mound. 5-4 Red Sox, and he's also going to the bullpen. He wants Bob Stanley to pitch to Mookie Wilson. So the Mets, 39 times they came from behind to win, are battling to stay alive. Calvin Giraldi couldn't do it, and it's up to Bob Stanley, and it's up to Mookie Wilson, and the crowd is alive again, and Rick Aguilera praying that he'll get off the hook. Mookie Wilson struck out, single to right, grounded out, and then sacrificed, and that was the bunt that Gedman fielded and threw high to Spike on at second base.
Dale Ford just checked that ball, rubbing it. Now he's going out to talk to Stanley. I wonder what that's all about.
Stanley throws, among other things, a palm ball. You have the tying run 90 feet away in Kevin Mitchell, and the possible winning run at first in Ray Knight. And here's Mookie. Fouled off. 55,078 here at Shea, and they have really been put through the ringer. One ball, one strike.